has some
let me take a look. Got your Discord still working on responses, brother. I have no problem. You started it, and I made fun of you in return. You're upset about publicly admitting to cuckoldry and get mad at me for bringing it up. You should be mad at yourself instead. Have some self-reflection. You're not special from the other 10 soy boys who say the same thing. If you got a problem, stop talking on the internet. The fuck? You literally have a collage of people that hurt your feelings on the internet. You haven't stopped whining about me for months now. The fuck? Pattern recognition?
A vegan's debating Garland farms on crop deaths in the crucible right now, not giving good ugs. You should call in.
Let me see.
oil. Do you think make it cause this extra
I'm trying to tell you. But you won't let me speak.
Yeah, let him finish, man. Just let him finish, and then after he's done, then you can revisit it. But let him finish his point.
Copy.
Okay, soybean oil is directly linked to the rest of the bean, and just like you've said several times today, is that soybean meal. You said that we could change the process to make it edible for human beings. And so if you're going to change the process to make it edible to suit human beings, then what's so special about that oil is that it is directly linked to the protein, the soy protein, because the soy protein it's not a complete protein. It's deficient in one very important amino acid. But it's the most complete plant protein available.
No, it's not. What is he talking about?
As a plant protein.
It's even fairly high in methionine.
All of those grams of animal protein, you're going to have to replace it with something. And soybeans, the soybean protein is going to have to be
How do you call
primary
in?
source of that protein.
The stupid links aren't.
Why
the
not?
link thing isn't working.
Now give him time to answer here.
Is the sun? Do you
the
call
reason why
Discord?
soy is so popular is because of the incentives the government, the subsidies the government pays in order for soy to exist, to be fed to cattle. There's no reason why soy would be the only protein source for vegans or for a population if we got rid of animal agriculture. There's protein in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, does anybody know how to
just
call
all be
in?
walking around eating wafers of...
Oh my god, this is just remarkably stupid. Garland Farms is weak. Does he even lift? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, how do you join? They'll post it when it's done, which is soon. It's on their Discord. Okay. I guess I'll... You're telling me it's going to be done soon? I'm in their Discord right now. Announcements. Is it in their announcements channel? Join us live. Comfy? Okay, I think that's just a different streaming service. Yeah, that's just a different streaming. Yeah, I'll call in about that retarded protein
I fell
plan.
asleep watching your stream last night. Did you get a chance to play Mad Chainsaw Mode in RE4 Remake? I found this code where you can always play it without having to reset it.
Okay, I don't know what the PC controls would be for that, but I'll just plug in a PS4 controller and see if I can do that. Thanks for the nation, man. I didn't play RE4 Remake last night. I didn't play any games, but I was thinking of probably doing it tonight.
Show me the
Thanks for the
do
donation,
your mental
dude.
gymnastics on that one, please. How do you
Don't cry.
Jeffrey,
don't cry.
Using these things, using videos
start
of people
crying, dude.
shooting wild boars against vegans when those boars exist because of animal ag, and those boars still do billions of dollars worth of damage to crops. How do you justify that, Garland? Like, how do you sleep at night, bro?
Well,
Say something.
okay.
Okay.
Who's responsible for those wild boar?
Animal agriculture, bro.
How long have you been a
If
vegan?
you let a domesticated pig go within
How
like
long have you been a vegan?
2
Jeffrey?
generations,
Oh
it's
my
a wild
God.
boar. They weren't native to North
Have
America.
you
They
ever
were brought
eaten?
here by people
Have
trying to
you
eat
ever
them.
eaten pork in your life?
Of course I have. I've
Okay,
also
so then you're
owned a
just
bunch
as
of goats,
responsible as anyone
pygmies and
else.
Nubians, so I'm just as much as a farmer as you are.
Are you?
So if you've
Yeah.
ever
Did you-
done
did you
something
bottle-
wrong,
did
you'll
you
bottle
infinitely
feed, some
be
baby
held
goats
accountable
I
for
today?
have,
that.
and yeah, I did for my daughter.
Really?
Yeah, made goat milk formula, bro. Not as a
Today?
vegan, as a carnivore, as a paleo. When I was keto. Have you
Yeah,
guys
but-
been
Oh my
vegan
God, dude.
before? Didn't
Did you
think
do it
so.
today? We're talking about today, right? You said this was
Well,
about
I mean,
today.
in our religion, we fast. So that's
Word.
actually excluding meat, right?
Word.
But beer's okay.
So
Hang
Garland,
on, I've
how
got
do
the
you-
links. I've got the links here that
Well, I'm still.
Garland's putting in. I'm putting them down in chat just so all of you guys know. There's multiple links, but I'm copying them, putting them all down.
Yeah, there's some. What happens if you limit yourself to only information that's available in some study,
Oh.
then everything that
Wild-
then
Joe
all of the
Regan
fact-
and fucking idiot Michael Malice reacting to Tucker Carlson dumb fuck take on the January 6th stone of the Capitol.
Let me take a look, Axel Fuzz.
Speaking of which, did you see the new video of the fucking QAnon shaman being led through the Capitol building by police?
No. What happened there?
You know, there's the story of the violent insurrection.
Oh
Just-
yeah, of
that's
course.
the narrative.
It was.
right?
I mean,
By the way, well, let's just be real clear. You shouldn't break into the fucking Capitol building. You shouldn't be trying to overthrow the government. You shouldn't be trying to like get out there and say that the election was false when you don't.
Weren't like over 200 police injured, and one of them died. And then they're like they're trying to make it seem as though, oh yeah, there were some troublemakers, but like it was peaceful for the most. Like what the fuck?
Don't exactly know. You're just buying into it, and then you all invade the Capitol. Wasn't good. Wasn't a good look for America. Wasn't good for any of the people there. Nothing was good about January 6th. Let's be real clear. But when you watch the video of that guy being led around through the Capitol building by police, they're basically giving him like a tour. They're talking to him and hanging out with him.
Yeah, dude, they wanted to peacefully deal with the fucking protesters inside and accommodate them because they didn't have enough resources to handle everybody who fucking broke in.
At one point in time, it's him, and there's like 6 police officers around him, and they're not arresting him. They're not throwing him to the ground. There's no violence at all. Like, I don't think what that guy did was good. I don't think what any of those people did was good. It wasn't smart to fucking barge into the Capitol and take pictures of your feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk. It's fucking stupid. It's a crime. But they were leading him around. Like, the cops were talking to him and hanging out with him. It wasn't.
You should get this.
videos showing
Let me see,
crop protection
Fohammer.
shooters shooting not just pigs and one bird, but hundreds of birds and doves and geese and swans
Interesting.
and rabbits
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
and gophers.
I wouldn't
And
have
then
space to put that.
And in a
and,
vegan world, that
It is
wouldn't
cool,
happen.
but I
and
wouldn't have space to
deer
put that.
and deer.
How do I apply for that?
That's
job?
pretty cool, though.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm kidding. A little
For
bit.
animal feed.
Thanks for the
Garland,
donation,
For animal
Fohammer.
feed. All those killings.
No, they weren't. No,
Yeah, like it's fucking retarded. Joe Rogan has no critical thinking skills. Like whatever fucking Musk posts on fucking Twitter, he's like, "Oh my god!" Like,
It's complete BS. You did it in the first one, and
imagine
you're doing
being
it again.
such a fucking idiot that you believe like Tucker Carlson. My god.
I'm not against it. I'm not for it.
3% of the population of the world are vegan, Garland. So how could you say these things over and over in all your videos?
Jeffrey,
You look like you're getting mad, bro.
Jeffrey, I've repeatedly
How could you
said,
say these things?
Gotta let him finish. Let him finish.
Jeffrey, I've repeatedly said that the vegans aren't responsible. You know, they don't shoulder all of the responsibility, but the crop agriculture that provides the items on the vegan menu is responsible. And so what the vegans want is for they say that we're only 3%
I'm not
of
the vegans, Garland. Attack my positions I'm bringing to you on this debate. Stop straw manning my position. I'm not
What
here
is-
to talk about those things. We have a premise we're set to.
Okay, now you've asked me a lot of questions. Now it's time for
No,
me to ask
I've
you a
asked you like
question.
3 questions and you've spent this whole
Now
time
it's my
dodging them
turn.
all.
Do you want a vegan world?
Wild boars, Garland. Concede to the wild boars so I know you're a reasonable man.
Do you want a vegan world?
Absolutely.
Okay. So as I was saying earlier, as the vegans want a vegan world, so the alternative to having nutritious animal foods is for us to rely on the crop agriculture that's destroying the environment and killing more animals than animal agriculture is killing.
Garland,
Fucking
there's no
crazy.
real difference in violence. If mankind is violent enough to do one thing, they'll be able to do a different thing. So clearly, and that too. Animal foods, clearly rely on crop agriculture also, Garland. Like you keep forgetting that. That's what we're saying. You're
No.
taking this carnivore diet position. Like there's still a massive, like I said before, if 5% of the world is vegetarian and 3% of the world is vegan, we're not the ones doing it. And you're saying we are, and you do nothing but do anti-vegan propaganda and say these things. And no matter what I say or what I can prove to you, you won't change doing that because you're not a reasonable man. You won't. I've given you an out to concede to like a easy thing, and you won't even do it. So there's no point to debating people like you, Garland. You just say you won afterwards. Like you won't even concede to something that you got busted on.
I didn't get busted on it.
Yeah, you did. You use it. You use these videos
This
of
guy's
people
literally
machine
a
gunning pigs,
retarded
and you're
version
like,
of
look
Hank
what the
Hill.
vegans are doing. Like, it's ridiculous, Garland. Be reasonable.
Do you
Be
think that
reasonable, or no one's going to take you serious.
you don't think that those pigs deserve to live?
If your animal
Welcome to the Crucible. How can I direct your call?
Hello, I am the one who goes by the name of Vegan Gains.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk to Garland Farms after the debate and bring up a thing he mentioned about how vegans have to have issues getting the right amino acid balance.
Okay. I mean, if you want to talk to him after the debate.
Yeah.
You mean during the call-in?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So yeah, you want to call in and ask a question?
yeah,
All right. You're going to use your proper name, your screen name, Vegan Gains?
yeah.
Okay. And check your DMs for me. You'll have a StreamYard link. You've been on the show, so you know the rules, but ideally, the way it goes, you ask a question, don't interrupt the answer. If there's time for a follow-up, Andrew will let you know. No retard, no slurs, no
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
Sure.
All right. Andrew has your name?
Sorry?
I said Andrew has your name, so you should have the DM, the link to the StreamYard studio. Just wait till Andrew asks for callers to join, because he'll get pissy if people fill up the studio when there's an hour till call-in time.
Sure. Okay. Am I getting? I'm getting the DM from you, right? Not Andrew.
Yeah, you should have it already.
Okay.
Check your message requests if it's not,
Okay. Sure.
because it's our first DM. So
All right.
Got a big internet celebrity here.
fancy celebrity.
because you clearly don't.
Give me the vapors.
Vegans want to stop the intentional killing.
All right, thanks for that.
Hey, no problem, man. Have a good day.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout.
On theirs, but vegans is
All right, I'll be on the lookout for that. SARS-CoV donated $2. Here is Eric Weinstein. Terrible take on the Ukraine-Russia war. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Doubt of the nuclear treaty publicly, which is not good.
With Joe Biden going to
Yes.
Kiev and pledging his undying love to, and I'm going to say this, which is very painful. I think Zelensky is a complete menace.
Why do you think that?
He's romantic. He's telegenic. He's brave. We can talk about whether he got set up in a coup or who he really is. He was an actor, et cetera, et cetera. But at some point, I think I heard him.
Donated $2. Do you enjoy live streaming? Yeah, for the most part, I do. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I had to go back to like the Russian and Ukrainian speeches in order to try to. I don't speak much Russian. I don't speak any Ukrainian, but they're closely related languages. And he calls for like preventivny udari, like preventative strikes. I'm like, huh? This is a while ago. And I thought, why is this person allowed to address Congress? You have somebody who, and I want to be very clear about this.
I'm sorry, what?
I really find it disgusting what Vladimir Putin did, invading Ukraine.
What does he mean? Why is this guy able to address Congress? They're giving him they're giving him money to and like support for this war. Why the fuck wouldn't he be able to talk to Congress? In a they have
that up. I'll watch that. You're the
jets take off and then their arsenal. And all of this is just
numbers of empty chambers.
No, it's not.
And I don't know what this is. I don't know whether we have 30 years to play this game or 3 months. But I learned that day last year in 2000.
Have you ever considered moving abroad?
Not lately. Like years ago, I moved to Belgium and I was planning on living there for a while, but it just didn't work out. There's some stupid bureaucratic crap that got in the way. But thanks for the donation, Sam.
And 22. Nobody around me in Providence, Rhode Island was reacting. Everybody.
They're taking collars.
You need some heme iron, my friend.
Anyway,
No,
I want to give you guys.
I don't need that carcinogenic fucking garbage.
You look like
you actually.
I could beat you in
Hang
a
on,
bike
hang on.
race.
Jeffrey,
You
you
know
vampire.
that, right?
Jeffrey,
You could
had
beat me what?
Far more
In a bike
you had-
race.
You
In
had
a
far
bike
more.
race. Cage fighter.
Come on, Andrew.
I thought you were a cage
No.
fighter.
Jeez.
I thought you were a cage fighter,
I
Jeffrey.
do a bunch of stuff.
Well, then let's cage fight.
I'm a lot more active
No.
than you.
No vegan
Cage
gates
fight.
cage fighting. No.
How
vegan
come all
gates
you guys
cage
want to?
fighting.
Joey Schwartz wants to cage fight me too.
No,
Except
you're
he's
the
in
one that
LA,
brought that
so I
up.
might
I
actually
watched
have
that.
to.
You're the one that brought that up. You're the one that brought that up. Admit it.
I brought up a physical challenge. He said,
Call in time. You should press Garland on crop field death compared to wild field death. Would be funny and good to get those args out to the Crucible crowd.
Maybe. Yeah, I'll consider bringing that up. All right, let me see. I don't know if they show the camera, but I think I have the thing reversed. Sometimes it reverses. Weird. Okay.
Eric, he's going to have to shut up. Yeah. With this all started with the vegans claiming that all crop deaths were incidental. And Jeffrey even tried to make that claim today. But actually, the majority of crop deaths are not incidental, they're intentional. Gunmen go out into the fields, and any animal that steps too close to an orange or a banana or a wheat plant is going to be shot in the face. It doesn't matter whether it's a feral pig or a beautiful white dove of peace or a swan
This
or
guy's
a
an
cute
idiot.
little raccoon. They all get a bullet.
They use pesticides,
And that's because of
to
crop
deal with
agriculture.
things like birds.
And if you violently force the entire world to go vegan, then we're all going to have to rely upon that system. Not only that, as I showed earlier with my graph, if you want to go back and look at that, that the grams of protein that will have to be replaced more than 3 times override the amount of protein that's currently being produced by the destructive soybean industry. So the destructive soybean industry or something similar is going to have to at least triple under a vegan rule. And so there's many things that the vegans have wrong.
Should write some.
I think
shit down.
what really defines veganism isn't a love or concern for animals, but it's a hate for humanity. There's lots of vegans that in very high profile, all of the high profile vegan activists have professed extreme misanthropy, extreme hatred for mankind. And they also will tell you that veganism is not about health. So if you're watching right now, consider whether or not you want to take dietary advice from someone that absolutely hates the human race and claims that their diet is not about health. And with that, I yield the rest of my time.
You need to propose a full debate between you and Garland Farms.
Jeffrey,
would be fun
you
to
have
watch.
the last word. You seem like you're frozen on the screen, though.
No.
He's going to debate
No.
Avi.
I was just looking funny.
No way. You didn't just debate. That wasn't just you.
But,
you weren't frozen.
I'll consider it.
No, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't.
I'm not a total expert on some of those topics.
Go ahead. You got
but thanks
7
for
minutes
that
on the
initiative.
clock.
Garland
Go ahead,
talking
man.
about health when we
He was
were
having a
supposed to
seizure.
talk about health. But you said that we'd have to triple all that stuff to be vegan. But what we'd really have to triple is the amount of land you needed to do regenerative grazing successfully. We'd need 3 times as much land as we have access to. That's why it's a pipe dream. But yeah, everyone just needs to go research what a co-product is, what a byproduct is, to figure out who won this, and to go look up, like all the things I mentioned earlier. Garland's just in denial. He just and he's never going to change. So there's really, like, I'm going to continue to do these things with him if he wants to, but there's really no point because the dude's not actually going to learn everything. And it's funny because originally we met for a couple hours and I was trying to make sure that Garland wanted to do a debate in good faith. And he acted very well and polite and nice in our first discussion. To lead me to thinking that he wanted to do a good faith debate, but clearly he doesn't. And so it's been fun. Thanks, guys. Like, it's been great. I appreciate you, Andrew, for having us up here. I choose this panel because I know it's biased, and I like the
Please don't skip this. I like the guy.
I like things have been more difficult.
Thinks you're
Well,
not
I
natty.
think
Watch
the chat
850.
most certainly is biased, but I don't think the moderation is biased.
Oh,
You're a little bit more
I'll react to that in a bit. Thanks for that
like to
initiative.
think, but it's not awful.
I think that you're just a little bit worse of a debater than you'd like to think.
Well,
but
no,
that's
I
just
don't
me.
think I'm a
That's
good
just me.
debater.
Garland.
I don't think I'm a good debater, though. You're straw manning me. I don't think I'm the greatest
Jeffrey,
debater.
you're the
It doesn't
master.
take a great debater to do this debate. Like,
Jeffrey,
when
you're the
someone's just
master
coming up here
debater.
and lying. He's never even
Look,
looked at.
I want to let you. I want to let you.
For soybeans.
So I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. You won't believe me, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Before this debate happened tonight, I actually wanted to make sure that I was the most charitable towards your side that I could possibly be. The most charitable, right? And still still the allegation of bias. And the thing is, like, I get it because I eat meat and shit like that, right? And I'm not going to back off, but understand that the Crucible actually has the most unbiased moderating on the internet. And the reason for that is because I'm a far right crazy person. And we're the only ones who seem to be able to conceptualize alternative opinions and internalize them and do an internal critique. That's just me. Just saying. That's just what I think. Because I've been on hundreds of, well, not hundreds, I'm sorry, but I've been on dozens of debate shows and I've done hundreds of debates. And the leftists fucking suck, dude. They're the worst mods ever. They won't even let an opinion on, dude. They won't even let them on. They just won't. So, but I am happy that you came out. I understand it's always going to be the allegation of bias. It's always going to happen. I get it. But I did have two questions, one for each person before we move into the call-ins. And thank you guys both for coming on very much. Of course, we'll get your links down there. The first one I just had, very simple question for you, Jeffrey. Are you a pacifist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not like I wouldn't punch a motherfucker in the face if you mean that kind of pacifist. Like I'll defend.
No, I just,
like I believe in
well, a pacifist
self-defense.
is like when I say pacifist, think like Seventh-day Adventist won't pick up a weapon on the battlefield even if he's getting shot at. That's pacifism.
No, absolutely not.
You're not a pacifist. Okay,
That's what pacifism is.
Does that end at what, like maybe self-defense or?
Yeah, of course. Or defend property. You can only have like, as much property as you could defend. You know.
Yeah, is that due to bodily autonomy or
what?
Bodily autonomy? Is that why you take that approach of like self-defense only?
You just superseded his vocabulary.
No,
like you own you, and because you own you,
of course,
that's why
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious about it. That's all. And then Garland Farms. I did have a quick question for you. If you barbecue the entire goat, because I was reading about it. I've only ever had like chunks of it. You know what I mean? I've never heard of like the barbecuing of the whole goat. What's the best seasoning, do you think? Is it like a rub, or what do you do?
Well, I don't know that there's one rub that would cover cover all of the details. What I would recommend is, of course, pick your favorite barbecue sauce, add a little bit of pepper because you want a little bite to it, and then add garlic. Garlic is fantastic flavor enhancer for goat. And a little bit of onion.
Why are you adding vegan products to your meat?
Well, it enhances the flavor.
Those are omnivore
products.
Don't
you think if we were supposed to eat meat, it would taste really good and you wouldn't have to put vegan products on it?
You don't have to.
Jeffrey, you had your moment in the spotlight. Now shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like, hey, do you don't add any fucking salt to your salad or what? Come on. Anyway, go ahead, Garland. I just wanted to know.
Little garlic, little onion, some barbecue sauce, and some pepper. That's really all you need.
What kind of, okay, all right. You know what, Jeffrey? Here, the maximum charitability. What kind of salad dressing do you use to enhance the flavor of your fucking vegetables? What is it? Is it Thousand Island or is it ranch? What is it?
Balsamic.
Yeah, see? You enhance the flavor of your food too. You know?
Yeah.
But, it would taste better with bacon. But anyway, I got to get to the callers.
I knew someone would say bacon at some point.
Well, you have to. Anyway,
you admitted earlier to have eaten bacon in your life, Jeffrey.
Shut up, Garland.
All right. We got to get to the callers. I'm sorry, guys. Resident cooking channel. You've been waiting very patiently in the background. By the way, he's a good cook. You can tell by the size of the gentle. Anyway, go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, I have a question for each of you, and I have a jab at Andrew. So you can both answer this one. What's your max bench?
I'm a road cyclist. I don't bench.
Okay.
I try and look like as much of a crackhead as possible because I'm an endurance cyclist.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah.
right now, probably about 275.
Ah, very cool.
Beast.
Oh damn, I smoke him.
And
My max is
Andrew,
about 380 right now.
To answer that question, I can only lift things that weigh as much as this beer.
oh,
I
that
just
wasn't
let
my
you know.
jab at you. My jab at you was about what you smoke. You made fun of the Gnostic guy last time for what he smokes, but listen, man, cigars, no filter. Come on, man.
Are you inhaling that?
Yes.
No, you're
Aye.
not. And here,
Oh.
filter's gone. Does that make you feel better on a Marlboro Red?
It does. It does. It
Would
does
that make you feel better, you fucking Albanian bag? Get out of
It
here.
does. It does
you
make me
know,
feel better.
You waited
Is that a
all this
Gutan?
time just
Yeah.
for that.
From
Do
French.
you have
Yeah.
a last follow-up? Do you have a last follow-up?
Hey, I have a
No,
question for Resident Cooking Channel. What did you have for breakfast?
What did
Oatmeal?
I have? No. Today, I mean, it was Sunday. I don't eat breakfast on Sundays. I go to
Okay, well, you stop playing games. Tell me what you eat for breakfast regularly.
Garland's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed off.
Garland.
Is it plant-based or meat-based?
It's usually meat-based, but it's the fast for us, so I can't have meat. I'm Orthodox for the majority of the fast.
Are you trying to portray that you eat mostly meats?
Yes.
Oh yes, I do.
Garland,
You got
calm
the
down,
starch face.
bro.
You got the starch face, buddy. Starch.
What's that?
Yeah, what is that? What is
As,
that? I don't
as if
get-
you
I don't
can't
know
get
what that means.
fat eating meat?
What that means is you eat a lot of
The
starch
fuck,
and sugar.
dude?
You know you do.
Oh no, I've actually cut out sugar completely. I haven't had sugar for
Since
the
when?
last-
Yesterday?
Oh, shit.
Thank you.
You okay?
I'm trying to lose weight, man.
How much
I'm
weight
down
have you
20
lost? How much weight have you lost since you cut the starch?
I'm about 20
Eat.
pounds down. Thank you for asking.
Okay, so you've lost 20 pounds since you cut the starch.
Yeah.
Okay, so before that you were primarily starch and sugar based, correct?
No, it was mostly meat based, but because I had I had a lot of carbs in the diet, it was a lot of very bloating. It's not very good for me.
I can
My
see
family,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. So let me just counter this narrative real quick. Okay. With a question for Garland Farms, would you rather he look like he looks, or would you rather he look like Jeffrey looks? Like if you had to choose.
No, I mean, I would rather even be a human being than like a vampire or a zombie.
Oh, shit.
I live in a very cold state, man. I go outside, I don't get burnt. Sorry. There's no sunlight over here.
The roast of fucking resident sleeper.
It's okay.
Great
I'm a good
friend.
cook.
By the way, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it very
course,
much.
of course.
Have a great
Thank
night. And then I cut him off like a dick. What's wrong with me? Chris Hines, you've been waiting patiently in the background. Thank you so much for your call in. Go ahead whenever
Great
you're
to
ready.
see you again. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Garland, why'd you block Chris Hines?
Yeah, why'd you block me, Garland?
Because
Is it because I kept debunking you with your own studies? Was that why?
you're gonna let me answer. You're gonna
I'm just going to
bloviate.
say the fact and then let you answer.
You're gonna
Look
let
out,
me
Chris.
answer. You're gonna
Garland's
continue to
right
bloviate
right
like your
now.
other vegan colleagues.
Stop being triggered. Answer. Go on, carry on.
Well, the same question could be asked of David Rams. Why did he block me?
Well, this has anything to do with David Rams. This is to do with me.
No, you and David Rams are buddies. If David's going to block me, then I'm going to block him and all his buddies.
You blocked me way before David Rams even involved.
Oh, so you admit that he blocked me?
I don't know.
right?
If he did. Who cares? I'm talking about me.
Oh, who cares? Really? Well, then I'll tell you what.
Why did you block me?
If you can,
Actually, this
if
isn't
you
my
can-
question, Andrew. Just for the record, okay? I have got a genuine question. This is just.
Well, you better get to it fucking quick.
Okay, right. Let's get to the question. Right. So let's talk about co-products, because I think people need to realize how important this is. If these products, soy meal is a co-product, that means that animal agriculture has to take responsibility for the damages and the deaths along with the oil. So let's look at some quotes from some of the soy organizations, shall we? So, for example, we have got, let's have a look, the National American Soybean Association, who says soybean oil is a co-product of the protein and meal production.
Here we go
also
back to the
got Soy
semantics.
Info
This is a
Center.
semantic.
These two important and valuable
Garland.
derived
Quiet.
from soybean oil and protein are called co-products. I've got a video here, Mac Marshall, the VP of Market Intelligence for the United Soybean Board, saying it's a co-product. We've got US soy. Why soybeans are grown primarily for soy meal's value in livestock, soybean oil serves as a co-product. Why are you denying this? And the reason you are denying it is because you don't want to take responsibility that livestock are also causing crop deaths. So
No,
will you
Chris.
concede, considering I've got all the evidence
Shut
from
your
every
fucking
soy
mouth
board,
for a
that it
second
is
and
a
I will answer your
co-product?
question.
Hold on, and one last thing, you even said on your
No,
live
let him
stream,
answer one at a time, and I'll let you get
No,
to a
this
second
is the
question.
finishing. This is
Hang
the
on,
No,
finishing.
let
shut
me-
your
let him
mouth
finish-
and let
Bro,
me
let him
answer.
finish the
Okay, you can
first
answer.
one, and I'll let you get to the second one. All right.
Sure.
Okay, the reason that I'm denying that it's a co-product is because the definition does not fit. A co-product and a byproduct are two different things. A byproduct and a co-product are defined by the processing, the manufacturing process.
Mhm.
How are soybeans processed? Through a soybean oil expeller.
And
A
what comes out the other side of that
soybean
machine?
oil.
Soy meal.
It's a soybean oil expeller.
What?
Are you denying that it's a soybean oil
You can
expeller?
literally go online and see that there is one.
Chris, are
machine-
you denying that it's a soybean oil expeller?
It depends. There is. I don't know
Chris,
what
are you
What does that
okay?
have
Can
to
you
do with
link us
this
to a soybean meal expeller?
Yeah, sure.
Garland, why
Okay,
does this
then let's
matter to
see
the
it.
argument?
Shut up, Jeffrey. I'm talking to
Articulate
Chris.
why this
It
matters
doesn't
to the
refine
argument.
The
how
argument.
Chris,
soybeans-
show us a
Yelling over
soybean
people.
meal expeller.
I'm about to look. If you want me to have a look, hold on.
What does that have to do with
Take the
anything?
fat out. Fat it.
Meal production. Right. That's machine. Let's have a look.
Exactly. Because the fat, the meal, the raw soybean for forage is too fattening. So they got a oil extractor
there,
to
there's
get
a
the
video.
oil
Let
out.
Chris answer, Jeffrey. Shut your pie hole.
Hold on, I'm just trying to.
Oh,
I mean, I've got a whole video here. I mean, should I just link
I've
it
got
in
a whole
the
video. Yeah, I've got 250 videos that debunk.
Yeah, and
everything
they're all
you say.
garbage.
There's a
backed by
video here. It's
nothing.
literally one machine. It all comes out of one part. The meal comes out
Yeah,
of
it's
the
called
other.
a soybean oil extractor.
Yeah, and it
or
does both
expeller.
things, right? It gives you
It's a
meal and
soybean
oil.
oil. It's a
Does it give you
soybean
meal and
oil
oil?
expeller.
Does it give you meal and
It's a
oil?
soybean oil expeller.
I don't care what the name
But
is. Does
two
it give you meal
products
and
come
oil?
out,
It expels the oil.
And the meal.
and the main
And,
product
and then
is
there's
the,
another,
is the
and
meal.
then there's another layer of processing called hexane oil extraction.
Same machine, right?
Hexane, no, not the same
Oh,
You're
machine.
the
the same machine.
hexane.
Look at the link.
First you squeeze them, then you soak
Garland,
them in
look at the link.
hexane.
Garland, could I just say
at the link, dude.
I literally just quoted all the major soybean boards saying it's a co-product, right? You were saying, oh, the National Soybean Association, right? They haven't even got a website. Where's the website from? I tried to Google it. Show me the link. I'm waiting. Come on.
What link are you wanting me
The
to show
National
you, vegan?
Soybean Association. You say it's a byproduct. Where's this link? You never showed it.
Yes, I did.
Where?
I showed it, didn't I, Andrew?
Did you
I
see
showed
it, Jeff?
Oh my
Did anyone
God,
see
dude.
it? I didn't see it.
Open your
He
eyes.
did place
My eyes are
down
open,
a
look.
lot of links. If you look through the private chat, and I couldn't tell you which one might be referencing or not referencing what.
If anyone can reference it in the chat, I would love to see it. I would love to see. Considering I've got every other major soybean thing here, including the National American Soybean Association, clearly saying it's a co-product. Now, the thing is, which is the funny thing I was going to bring up,
Here.
you in your live stream
I'm
the other
going-
day clearly
I'm going
said
to-
I
I'm
was
going
the
to
first
share it.
person. Hold on, you said clearly I was the first person to ever say that soy meal was a co-product. Then afterwards, you looked all confused and you had to Google the difference between a byproduct and a co-product because you didn't even know what it was. So you can't sit here
Because
and
you're
say, "Oh,
playing
I'm gonna try and
semantic,
like, there is a
you're playing
co-product."
semantic games. The
No, I'm
audience
not. It's
knows.
very
The audience
important.
knows that it doesn't matter.
Garland,
No, the audience
our
doesn't know.
last
It's all
debate,
the
you
evidence.
didn't even know what a co-product was.
A
That's
You
byproduct
didn't
is a
even bring
waste
up the
product.
word
A
co-product
byproduct
last
goes down
debate,
as a waste, it
Jeffrey.
goes down as a negative. That is what a byproduct is. A co-product is a product which is made in conjunction with the other
Andrew.
ones which hold value.
Andrew,
which is
check
exactly
your
what meal and
share
oil is.
screen.
If the
Hang
meal
on.
goes, the oil.
Relax.
meal
Hang
will
on.
go
Hang
up.
on. He wants to respond, and I've given you a lot of time to talk, your caller. Let him
Yeah,
respond.
sure. No, you can stop me whenever. That's
All right.
absolutely fine.
Okay, so there's one.
That's Science
Yeah,
Direct.
this is Science Direct. This isn't the
Science
Soybean
Direct.
Association.
Okay,
There are so
dude,
many links
dude,
that say.
dude, I'm not finished.
Okay, carry on, carry on.
There's the National Institutes of Health.
That's
Okay,
not what
soybean
the
meal
source
is
he
a
said
byproduct.
that. Oh
There's
my
SEPA.
God.
You
Take
can
that
keep
for what
going
you
and
will.
say-
Hey, shut up for a second and let me answer.
The guy said
Garland,
the
you
National
gotta
admit
Soybean
those are all the
Association would
same.
say it's a byproduct.
You don't want the truth to be revealed, so you try to talk over people.
You aren't showing the truth,
You're
Garland.
revealing your
omitting the
dishonesty.
truth.
Let him
Here's another-
finish. Let him.
Dude,
Advanced
shit.
feed
fucking
additives.
retarded.
Here's advanced feed additives. Soybean meal
Those
is a
aren't institutes
byproduct
for soy
of
research,
soybean oil
Garland.
extraction. Here's another one. Oxford. You're a big fan of Oxford, aren't you, Jeffrey? Aren't you a big fan of
Oh
Oxford?
my
You'd be
God.
down on your
Just-
knees about Oxford.
You quote Oxford all the
Soybean meal is a
time. What are you talking
byproduct.
about?
I
Soybean
love
meal-
how he just
Oxford
completely
says soybean
failed.
meal is a byproduct of the soy
Got
extraction,
vegans.
soy oil extraction process.
Dude.
I mean, how many sources do you
See,
require?
Brendan
Okay, how
Hood
about
thought
this?
to respond to the
Vegans
short
aren't
clip on
connected
Austin
with
Carlson
the
talking
soy.
about
Gentlemen,
what
gentlemen,
he did.
relax,
I'll
hang
do that in a
on.
minute.
All
Thanks
of
for the
you
nation,
guys,
dude.
calm down. I did want to take a look at
I'm
this
just
one
waiting
link that you
for
put in
my
here,
chance to come on.
Mr. Hines. You put in a YouTube link, and you said that this demonstrated a single machine which did both of those actions.
Yeah,
I don't
hopefully.
I don't see the singular machine doing both of those actions anywhere in this video. Can you show me what the timestamp is for that, Mr. Hines?
Okay, let's have a look. I mean, you should bear with. Oh yeah, so it kind of says here. So if you go to like 2 minutes,
No, it shows
37,
clearly two separate machines. One that does one extraction, the other one that does another type of mechanism.
What does this
to
matter,
move this
Andrew?
meat.
it says here
doesn't
you've got
matter.
step 3.
Well, because the claim from Mr. Hines, he said, take a look at this link.
Yeah, hold
which
on.
I
It's got
did.
step 3, the mechanical oil production, and then it goes to
Uh-huh.
step 4.
Oil
Yeah, so
production.
those are all
You hear those words?
Same machine. If you
So
look at the
hang on. So
machine,
those are all separate
Mechanical
machines.
oil
it's
production.
one big machine. You can see it. If you go to like
No, well, no, it's
It's
not.
One
It's-
big machine.
on,
It's a mechanical
Andrew,
oil
are you a
producing
moderator or are
machine.
you helping out Garland?
the debate's over, and this
Oh,
gentleman.
Yeah, but can
Put
I
in
just
Fair
clarify
enough.
something? Can I just
Hang on,
clarify
hang on.
something?
Mr.
Jeffrey's
Hines,
like,
Mr.
we
Hines,
want a
just
2 against 1
listen.
situation.
Listen to what I'm saying. It's very
Mhm.
important. The video that you just showed. So I'm a robotics mechanic. That's what I do.
Yeah.
This is showing multiple different machines, and then they put them together on an assembly line, but it's not the same machine.
No, but the thing is, what I'm trying to say, right? Let's just clarify this, right? Ultimately, it doesn't matter if it's one machine, 2 machines, 3
it
machines.
doesn't
Hold on,
matter.
Garland.
Garland, shut
Hold
up.
on.
Doesn't matter.
That's not the point. The point is that both of these products are being made together, whether it's one machine or 2 machines, whatever you want to argue, and they both hold value, which is what makes them a
Right.
co-product.
That's what I've always said.
Hold on.
No,
The links you provided are just random links of other things. All
No,
your
they're
links
not.
are-
They're not
Hold on.
random links.
Hold on, let me finish.
Oxford? You think
Hold-
Oxford is a
hold
random
on.
link?
Garland,
You're a big
stop.
fan of Oxford?
Garland,
He
you
claimed
wanna say
the
you wanna speak, let
soy
me speak.
industry defines
Every
it as a
single
byproduct, which they don't.
reference I gave you for a co-product was a soy association. Every single one of them. All the ones you were doing were just random things, everything like that. I will completely concede to the fact that soy meal and soy oil are sometimes referred to as byproducts because they are generally mislabeled because it's not important in that sense. With what they're saying, they're just trying to say that it is a part of it.
Okay,
But
then in your mind,
industry itself,
what differentiates a
Hold on.
co-product from a
the industry
byproduct?
itself
He explained
recognizes it's a
that.
co-product.
No,
because of
the
value of
industry,
both
I
meal
showed earlier that
and
the
petroleum.
Soybean Association Board was calling it a byproduct. So not
No, he
the
didn't.
And hold
entire.
on. And just to add to this, you gave me a huge list in a comment
This-
once to say that it's not important and everything. And basically, I've got every.
This is
single
actually pretty incredible. This video, because I wasn't familiar with this particular process. Like I don't know anything about this. I just know how machines operate. But this is quite the process. This is taking many machines, including grinders, and you have shakers, you have
Yeah.
multiple motor mechanisms.
That's what
this is all running
manufacturing is
off of
called.
VFDs.
That's what
You can't
processing
say
is
it's
called.
waste.
These
It's
are
like
all.
major processing involved.
But you're talking about tons of different machines in this process.
But
Yeah,
they do
that's
one
what I mean.
thing.
You can't just say
They
it's
split
waste.
the
But they
product in
don't.
half.
But that's the thing. They don't do one thing.
They
all
split
do
the
a
product in
separate
half.
function in every single one of them.
Mm.
Right.
This is what
and
I mean. Like, if it was a waste
Nope.
product, it would just be the crap that comes out the other end. This is really being processed for a reason.
Um,
$600 a ton
And what I
right
was saying
now.
about the links you sent me, Garland, pretty much all of them say that historically soy meal has been the driver of this, and this is from your own links. I'm happy to send them all to you. Historically, meal prices have been the main driver of soybean values. Soybean meal has been a steady hand of the wheel for demand for many years. Soybean meal used to be used so plentiful decades ago that restaurants, food manufacturers, and other industries couldn't use it all. Like, these are your links. These are just quotes from your links.
Chris,
I don't know why you're denying this, and the only reason you are denying it is because you don't want to admit that animal agriculture.
Chris, you have to let me
the
speak at some
That's
point.
all it is. That's
Chris, you
literally
have to let me speak at
hang
some
on,
point.
Chris, let him get in real quick.
Sure.
I'm in the waiting room.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for.
Originally, this whole
to get in.
thing started. This Garland Farms versus all the high top tier vegans started with the top tier vegans claiming that all of the crop deaths were on the shoulders of animal agriculture because
Don't say that. Never
you're
said
going to
that.
have to shut your mouth, Chris, and let me speak.
Okay, but I didn't say that.
Straw
were
man
cla-
farms over here.
You were claiming that the entire crop death situation was the result of animal agriculture, and you illustrated that by claiming that 80% of the soybeans are grown to feed livestock. And what I did was I illustrated the fact, and it doesn't matter whether you want to call it a byproduct, a co-product,
It matters a lot.
was that 92% of the world's soybeans were actually processed to extract the oil through soybean oil expellers.
That doesn't have anything to
separate
do
the
with
oil
anything.
from the meal.
Yep.
And the livestock consume
my God.
98% of the meal, and humans consume right now 2% of the meal. And human beings consume 100% of the oil. Right now, the oil is going for
That's not
between
true, by the way.
85 and 90 cents per pound, and the meal is going somewhere between 10 and 15 cents per pound.
Yeah, humans don't consume
And so
100% of the oil.
this is a semantics game that you're trying to play to try to cloudy the picture for the public, whether it's a co-product or a byproduct doesn't matter. The fact is that they're making a profit on both. I will agree with that. They're making a
Hines,
profit.
I'm actually confused though. So I was trying to figure. Maybe you can clarify this for me.
Sure.
So I don't know anything about any of this shit.
I know it's a bit of a weird subject.
Just so you understand, like I don't know anything, but I do know machinery really well. I understand philosophy pretty well, I think. I think that your point for your definition was to state that the reason you think this isn't a byproduct and is a co-product is because it's all produced on a singular machine. That was your initial argument. But that's that's absolutely not true. I mean, I've now counted, I think, 8 machines just as I've watched this video, including shakers.
That's not what he said. He said it's a co-product because both products have a value.
Is that actually critical to your definition, or am I
no, not no, the amount of machines doesn't make any difference. What it is the fact that soy oil and soy meal is produced at the same time. No, it doesn't matter how that system runs, what have any machines or anything. Both products are created at the same time. It's not.
That's really weird because if you can have one product that's created as an excess of another product, and we would call that byproduct.
Yeah, you would in some.
But you would incorrectly call it byproduct. That's
that would be a completely correct.
We've just gotten used to saying the word byproduct for everything, but there's actually co-products.
Yeah, hold on.
It's very important to distinguish which is which.
Let me say something real quick, is that you can see how much the vegans actually care about the animals, that they'll tie up a debate about the harmful effects of crop agriculture.
Garland, I've already proved to you
by,
that everything
I
is
love
wrong.
this shit, right? I
by
love
mixing them up, by hog tying us into a argument about semantics.
You think wild hogs are an argument against vegans in the United States?
You've already, Jeffrey, you already admitted that you've eaten bacon, so shut up.
I never admitted that I was vegan since birth, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyone that's eating pork has a responsibility for.
You guys, both of you guys,
all right, next,
Jeffrey and Chris, just help me out with this because I'm trying to figure this out.
By the way, why are they on this so long?
Half this debate, because what's happened is this, just so everybody on the panel understands right now, is that you guys had former arguments that this audience is not aware of. And so you jump into those arguments. You're very aware of them, but just understand the people who are watching externally are like, what the fuck are these guys talking about, right? As we've gone, I've tried to clarify it as much as I can so that we can get some type of grasping. But it seems
the
like
debate is supposed to be between two people, not an audience and two people. It's supposed to be what we talk about, and it doesn't matter what the audience thinks, especially if there's been two debates and
Yeah,
they're
but
cloudy
I
about
can't-
that. That just means they missed the last
they're not.
debate. And why
They're
would
not.
I need to change my argument for people watching?
Well, the clarification is not for them; it's for me, right? So I want to make sure that I know what the fuck is going on. So I'm curious about this particular point, and it's very odd to me because it does seem like it is semantics, and I do agree that semantics are very important. But in your definition of byproduct, what are you stating a byproduct is exactly?
Okay, so basically, a byproduct is a residual waste. I mean, yes, you can use it. You can sell it to make extra money. And
You're muffled very badly right now.
Oh, sorry. If it better if I move.
There
away
we
from the
go.
mic?
Perfect.
Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. Maybe I'm just.
No, you're good. You're good. Just wherever
Get
you're
closer to your
sitting.
mic.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. Yeah, so obviously one of them is just a residual waste product. With a co-product, it's actually a part of the market driver. Like soybean meal has actually been historically the main driver, the main reason.
Yeah. Why is a byproduct a waste product?
Why is a byproduct a waste product? Because it's something that's, I mean, like examples would be like sawdust, manure, like things that are
that
kind
wouldn't
of
be
like,
a waste product.
yeah, that would be that would be a byproduct. A byproduct is essentially,
And it's not, but it's not waste because even manure has
waste,
value.
That's why I'm asking about this definition specifically.
Yeah,
I'm very confused about it.
Maybe
So for instance, couldn't a co-product be a byproduct?
No, they're one of the, a byproduct can become a co-product if there is a market enough for it. I know it's really.
Isn't that saying the same thing?
No, I know it's a really good, but basically what it is once it becomes a co-product.
Who cares?
For example, with soy,
brutal.
it's one of the reasons that soy is being grown now. It's not just the waste from it; it becomes a part of why that item exists. Because people are demanding
a byproduct,
the meal as much as the oil.
Shut up, Garland.
So it acts as
you don't like what
you're hearing because you're scared because it debunks you, Garland.
So that I understand it better. But let's say to your example of sawdust, we had a sawmill.
Yeah,
we would agree that the product.
Yeah, I'm in the waiting room.
Was like, let's say 2x4s. That's what they're producing. A byproduct of the 2x4 production is this sawdust.
Why are they?
Right? But it turns out that they could bag that sawdust and send it to some energy company.
They've been talking about this for like 30 minutes.
Slow burn, or they make mold out of it, or some bullshit that we don't fucking know about, right?
Sure.
They sell this, and this ends up actually making them more money than the actual product they were making before. Are you claiming that that's what makes it a co-product, or is it still a byproduct?
It would become a co-product once it takes over that majority of the profit.
If there becomes a demand for that item, if there becomes a demand,
because that's how it is.
Yeah,
well, that's not an. That doesn't actually.
You're questioning the industry right now.
Yeah, let me try and clarify. So basically, once there becomes enough of a demand for a product where it can literally drive the production purely on that individual product. So for example, with soy meal, it's been so heavily demanded that it's literally driven the production of soy. Then it's literally become as.
Notice how he changed from driving to driven, because right now what's driving it is soybean oil.
Garland, I'm almost done.
I'm trying to explain Andrew so he understands.
But now I get it. Now I get it. So now that I understand your methodology, let's assume for a second that sawdust only accounted for, let's say, 8%. Then would it be a byproduct?
Well, it still can be. Like oil, for example, is only 10%. So that's still a co-product.
So then, by your definition, these soybeans would be byproduct, like Garland said, right?
Well, no. How did you work that out? I'm saying
because he said
the oil would be. If anything, the oil would be right.
I'll explain it to you. Hang on, I'll explain it to you. This is your logic. Let's follow your logic train.
Andrew, how much longer are you gonna do? You're gonna stay on this?
I'm gonna stay on it until I understand it. So we start at once the product becomes the overage, meaning that now the product that was before the byproduct now is making you more money. Now it's the main product. That is the thing. Now it's a co-product. However, this would necessarily entail that as long as it's at some below average to whatever that major product is, it would have to necessarily be a byproduct. Am I wrong?
No. So what it is? So basically, think about it this way, right?
Why are they
If
going on
soy
about
meal
this
stopped, if all
still?
demand
Just
for soy meal
fucking
stopped,
get on another
the
caller.
market for the oil would rise
Bro.
considerably because it relies on both of the products to be sold. That is how kind of the market is run. And the same if the oil went, then the meal would suffer. So these products are both linked now. They're
Andrew-
literally, they rely on each other to
Yeah, but
exist.
that's not
Can I
what your
ask Chris a
definition of
question?
it is. That's
Oh
No,
what
but I'm
my
trying to explain
God.
that this is
Can
part
I
of
ask
it.
Chris? I
you
need
should
to
just
ask
come
3
back and
grams of
explain it.
ca-
Explain it
caffeine.
It's not that
Yeah,
weird,
if you want to
Andrew.
explain it to
That's,
me
You're just
another time,
not
I'll
trying to
manage.
understand it.
Can I
Yeah.
ask Chris
It's
a
crystal
question?
clear.
Jeffrey, not only do I understand it, right? But on Chris Hines' definition, I would absolutely destroy his face because it makes
I
no
don't think-
sense and
It's not his
fucking
definition.
stupid.
Oh my
You don't- you
industry's
clearly don't
definition,
I don't
understand.
care.
Andrew.
Listen. If the definition is
You should
the-
care.
if the definition is the X factor has to be less than the profit of the primary product, and Garland has demonstrated that the excess is less than the profit of the primary product, then it's a fucking byproduct by his definition, you moron.
No, what it means is that both. This is what I mean. You don't understand it. You don't understand.
Yeah, well, I've been sitting here
You can
asking
have a
questions,
po-
and every time I do, you guys say, "What's wrong? Why are you asking the question?" Because I want to
So
know.
that would only be the case as if the byproduct was worth so little that it wasn't up there competitively.
so little, what do you
What's the
mean?
delineation?
Like Garland
point?
said, it's
Hey,
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey,
50, 40,
at
51,
what
49.
What,
It's
at
not
what percent does it
100,
become
like
a co-product?
90, 10.
Can I try and make this really simple?
You aren't taking into
Andrew?
Yeah,
consideration
make it
the
really
byproduct
simple.
Jeff,
part.
let me speak for
It's
2
crystal-
seconds.
At what percent profit
hold on,
does
guys.
it become a co-product?
Garland, can I just try and explain this to Andrew?
At what percent profit does it become
This
a
is-
co-product?
That's
Well,
what I
fucking
want to
there's a
know.
thing
horrendous.
called an EFA, I think.
Yeah, I don't
Basically,
know how long
when
they're
it
going to stay.
becomes
It's
that
almost
the
been an
market
hour.
relies on both to be profitable, then that is where the kind of level is. So it depends. I couldn't tell you where it is. I mean,
Okay, source it.
I mean, we can.
You're bloviating, but you're not
I'll
sourcing
explain it.
anything.
Mother
I'd
of a
explain it to Andrew,
fuck.
please.
I've
Okay,
just
so
never heard
anything,
anything.
Garland.
There's a lot
Look
of
at him. He's just trying to
bloviation.
jump
Chris,
on
there's
us
a lot
right
of
now to make it
bloviation
seem like he wants
There's
to
there's
be.
sourcing going on.
I want to try and explain
You're
it to
making
Andrew.
claims
Move
that you
on.
Can
can't
we
back
move
up.
along, Andrew?
Yes, we can. Hang on.
Thank you.
We can.
Jesus, this
But the
chat
thing
is
Jeffrey
just
wants to
going
move
telling
on.
him-
He's getting
Is that
destroyed.
what the
Garland,
caller-
shut up, dude.
the-
Like
the
we'd
caller-
be
the
moving
caller-
along if you weren't
You're
jumping
getting
in.
schooled,
Stop. All you guys, stop. Just listen. This is why it's important, right? So if I was in Garland's shoes or in your shoes, if you're going to make it semantics,
Abel, I was gone
very
for 5
important.
minutes,
If
and then
you wanna
I
make
come back
semantical
to these
arguments,
quacks
that you
minus the
flesh these
vegans on
definitions out so we
byproducts.
can understand
Yeah.
what the fuck you're talking about, right? This whole
Oh my
time,
god.
I've been trying to get that
This is going
done.
on way
Been
too
trying
long.
to just
Thanks for the
figure out
donation, though,
what
Abel.
the fuck are these guys talking about. Let's make sure we know what they're talking about. In this particular case, I had no idea most of this time what the fuck was even going on.
So maybe you need to
but I
do
was
some
trying.
independent information, like
Can I
research
try
or
and explain it
something
in a
on
really
it.
easy way? Can I try and
But
explain it?
hang on. I was trying. So now that I
Andrew's
got
not finished. Vegans,
now that
shut
I
up.
got the definition down, now that I understand it, either of you are welcome to come back with that definition. God help you, whenever you'd like. And Chris Hines, would you like to shout your channel out, anything like that before you go?
I mean, you can do. I haven't really uploaded much for a while, but yeah, it's just Chris Hines on YouTube. Yeah, feel free to come say
Finally,
hi.
get him the fuck
But
up,
yeah, if you want to
please.
chat about it another time, we can do. Like,
Happy to do it, Chris. Have a good day.
yeah, sorry to confuse you, man.
I'm not confused now. Now I understand. Corinth, go ahead with your question whenever you're ready.
Jesus.
For Garland Farms, when you're talking about how animal death is going to be a byproduct of soy farming and things like that, if we remove soy farming in that, do you think we'd have less or more animal death and just went towards a pure carnivore?
Thank you
or
for that,
more
SARS
carnivore?
CoV. Those were dots and
You're
slashes.
talking about a
Appreciate that
change in
donation,
crop
dude.
agriculture.
Yeah, if we changed the crop agriculture and stopped producing soy oil for humans, do you think we'd have more or less animal death if we changed that sort of like production and soy food for humans as well and we move that towards pure animals?
Does a change in crop agriculture allow a change in livestock agriculture?
It's going to necessitate that, right? Since we're using soy meal as a way to feed the animals.
How much soy is used to feed cattle?
About 90% of
from
it.
what I've seen it's. I'm not sure off the top of my head actually. You
my
seem like you
God,
know the
dude.
number better than
You know,
I.
give us a number since you seem to pretend that you know.
I just explicitly said I don't know this number.
Okay, if you don't know these numbers, then
Garland,
why
just
are you
answer the
This is
question.
why I'm
He asked
asking you
the
this
question.
number.
That's not
Has
even
nothing to do
related
with
to
his
the
opinion
question.
of what the numbers are. Just answer the question. Does it go up or does it go down?
There's more variables, Jeffrey, than what he's.
Does it go up or does it go down in your opinion?
Jeffrey, we have to know
Why
more
are
to
you
answer the
incapable? Why are
question.
you doing debates if you're incapable of answering questions, Garland? Why do you waste your time? Why do you waste everyone's time? I mean, we're glad you do it
Holy
because you make
shit.
an example of yourself. But like, why do you do it if you're not going to answer questions? You haven't
making an
asked. You
example
dodged
of
every
myself.
question asked to you up here.
Yeah, so Garland, I also didn't specify cattle. I just said animal agriculture, right? So when you're trying to shift it to cattle, I feel like you're also leaning towards this like broader animal agriculture. Are we going to have a shift in that if we shift off of soy production?
Are we going to have a shift in animal agriculture if we shift off of soybean production?
Yeah.
Well, I think that if we shut down soybean production, then we can. Right now, we've got all scientific studies that have studied what's happening to the topsoil as a result of the tillage that's required for soybean agriculture. The tillage actually causes wind and rain erosion.
That's
and so
great.
this erosion is happening at such a rate that they're predicting that we have around 60 years of topsoil left before we all run out of topsoil and we can't even grow
Cool
anything.
story. That's
we won't be able
bullshit.
to grow any vegan foods if we continue to till the
That's
soil.
bullshit.
And so if we were to shut down soybean agriculture,
that's why I'm in the waiting
then
room.
we can actually move
I am
in,
going to debate them. Thanks for the donation,
regenerative
Veggie Gains.
rotational grazing ruminants and other animals like chicken tractors
Rotational
and
grazing.
anything that will
God,
increase
this
and
guy's a clown.
improve the soil biome and improve the soil life and increase the soil carbon, then we would be able to reverse the damage that's being caused by the crop agriculture that is producing the items that are on the vegan menu.
Never heard of fertilizer.
And so if we could get rid of soybean agriculture, then yeah, we could take that acreage and start to regenerate it with livestock.
No, you can't.
I'm sure that would have been a great answer if that was anywhere near my question. So my question again was, are we going to have more animals dying or less animals dying if we change off of soybean agriculture?
Well, the soybean agriculture is responsible for a large portion of the oceanic dead zones. In fact, I can link you to the U.S. government explaining that 50% of the oceanic dead zone is caused by the soybean and corn crops, and only 10% is caused by livestock. And so,
again,
yes,
I'm sure this would be a great answer if that was my question. So one more time, will we have more?
Are you claiming? Are you claiming? Are you claiming
yes.
that? Oh,
he said yes.
Are you claiming that oceanic dead zone does not kill animals?
If they're already dead, we're not going to be killing more, right?
Ghost released a sin of unflavored vegan protein. I've been using it for
more.
my
So you're
protein
saying that
oatmeal.
creating
It's pretty damn
95,000 square miles
I'll see if I can
of
find
oceanic
that.
dead zone
I've been having diesel.
is to be excused because you're a vegan?
What is it? Vegan.
Are we creating it, or is it already
vanilla
being
ice cream
created?
flavor?
Because,
But I'll try and look for that.
It's an ongoing disaster caused by crop agriculture.
So then we'd have to do the weighing the calculus
leaves?
between, is this going to be more sentient life?
I think
that's gonna be
eating
dying
any
versus
amount of
things
mint
like
leaves
pigs
is
and
eating
chickens,
too
which
many
are being
mint
fed
leaves.
by
Thanks
these
for the
soybean
donation,
products,
my dear friend.
which are highly sentient, which are going to be highly weighed, right?
Okay, so you can, like a football game,
Garland
you can
doesn't
tell who
answer
won the
questions,
football
dude.
game by looking at two scores, correct?
Yeah, you can tell.
Okay, so what's the score on oceanic dead zones?
If it was a
Corinth,
football
what
game,
is the
I would
score
say it's
for
generally gonna
oceanic
be
dead
like-
zones? Answer
my
the
God.
question. What is the score for oceanic dead zones? How many
Garland.
animals are killed?
I'm the vegan. Why are you the one soy
No,
raising?
answer the question, Corinth. You're not able to give me a number.
For like 30 days. Come on.
Come
on. Give us a
I've been
number.
waiting for that line for weeks. buddy.
Corinth, give us a number.
Some vegan poon, and now you're a fucking vegan.
I've
Just
been
shut up with
waiting
that shit.
that
Corinth,
line
you
since-
cannot give us a number. Is it because of apathy?
because it's
Is it
not a football game,
hypocrisy?
Garland.
Is it stupidity? Is it misanthropy? What is it?
It's a metaphor, Garland. It's not gonna output a number.
Don't start crying. Don't start crying like Jeffrey
I'm
did
laughing.
earlier.
I'm crying laughing because Resident Sleeper had me dying earlier. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Did you have anything to follow that up with?
Yeah, so we're gonna need
Make
to
it
do...
quick. Make it
Okay,
quick.
I'll make it really
got
quick
vegan
here.
gains right behind you.
We need to do a lot of really advanced numbers to
Finally.
do this. So just using like, if it were simple, what would the numbers be? That's a what if situation. That's just not gonna be able to be answered by the parameters.
Okay, I'm gonna have to employ a Hank Hill. What is that gobbledygook you just said?
I said that you're using a
Open.
metaphor that's not going to be applicable in this situation because it's a lot more confusing. I'm sorry, I'll go down to monosyllabic words.
If you're
it's too much
confused,
for
you need to
again.
move on.
Damn it,
You're-
Corinth! Damn it! Why couldn't you just use plain language, boy?
Propane products.
Propane accessories.
Margarine.
Yeah, get the hell off my
Propane
program,
and
boy.
propane accessories.
Hey, he does it way better than us. Holy
No,
shit.
hang on. The thing is I don't know. Maybe people here, maybe there's vegans in the chat who've never been on the crew. It's hard to believe at this point, but
Damn it,
you
Bobby.
realize that once the debate's over, the moderator can't participate, especially when callers are coming in. And I often do, and so does Zen, the other moderator. That's what makes the Crucible the fucking Crucible. Vegan Gains, you've been waiting very
Hey.
patiently in the
Yeah.
background. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I wanted to correct two mistakes that Garland Farms made. The first mistake he made was he claimed vegans have trouble getting an adequate amount of particular amino acids, even from very high quality protein sources like soy. Soy has a full complement of amino acids. It is also high in methionine. And if you look at any research
Whoa,
on things
that's a
like
lie.
nitrogen balance, you don't even really need to consider amino acid ratios. As long as protein is matched, vegans actually have the same intercept when it comes to positive nitrogen balance as meat eaters. And if you look at like hard health outcomes like sarcopenia in the elderly, you'll see that it doesn't matter what the protein source is so long as total protein intake is matched. So elderly people who are at risk of losing muscle because of age-related reasons, they will have the same amount of muscle mass regardless of protein source so long as their protein intake is matched. And by the way, you said that your max bench is 275. Mine's 380. So I don't know what your excuse is there. And secondly, you also claimed that if we were going to move to a completely plant-based food system, we'd have to produce far more food or like have more plant agriculture. That literally violates the laws of thermodynamics by claiming that we produce more food by feeding the plants we grow to animals than eating the animals. You're claiming that energy is being created, which is impossible. And you can look at Chapter 5, page 76 of the UN's latest climate report. They reported that we would be able to feed the population that would be expected to exist by 2050 if we move to a completely plant-based food system, and we would be able to use less land than we currently use today. Cornell
less land?
University also did a very similar analysis where if we got rid of all animal agriculture, we'd be able to feed 800 million more people.
Okay, so that last part was an appeal to authority without any
No.
source or anything like that.
I gave you the source.
No, you need to shut your mouth, Vegan Gains, for a second. If you're going to quote some type of authority without giving us a source and letting me examine the source, then it's nothing more than appeal to authority.
Yeah, so I gave you the
lose on
source.
that-
It's
you
chapter
lose on
5,
that-
page
you lose on
76
that
of the UN's
facet.
latest climate
And
report. You can
the
look
next
up
one,
that
Vegan
source.
Gains, is how old are you and what do you do for a living?
I am turning 32 in a few months, and I yap online for a living.
Okay, when I was 32, I was benching 405. Okay.
Oh, okay. Is there any video
And
footage of
right
that?
now, I'm 54 years old. I'll be 55 this year, and I'm benching 275.
Yeah. So
let's see you. Let's
there's
see
no
you in
reason you
20
should
years
be
and see what
benching
you
less.
can do. You
So
you
sorry.
puss.
There's no reason you should be benching less. At the age of 55, there's no
Well, yeah,
age-related
there is a
reasons
reason
for
why
why
I
you'd be
bench
benching
less is
less.
because I don't sit around working out all the time. I was an All-American football player. I don't have time to work out like I did back in the old days. I have goats and cows to take care of,
Okay.
and fences to repair, and land to regenerate.
Okay, so if I benched more than 405, would you concede that vegans can get enough protein and amino acids?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so how much would I have to bench?
To me, you look bloated.
Oh, I look bloated, right? Okay,
Yes,
so
you
yeah,
do.
I am kind of bloated with a lot of muscle. You're right about that, right? Like, yeah, that's all bloat. Yeah, I am bloated with muscle.
Yeah, look at your face.
Yeah, I have a nice, handsome, full face.
Yeah, it's full. It's definitely full.
Okay, so I'm getting enough
handsome it
nutrition, is what you're telling me?
subjective. How
So
handsome
I'm getting
it
enough
is
nutrition,
subjective.
is what you're telling me.
No, I don't know that to be a fact because I know that you've injured yourself several times.
You don't know that to be a fact.
recent
Okay,
years.
well, I'm getting enough nutrition to bench more than you right
You
now.
have all kinds of tendon issues.
No.
No, you haven't.
What do you mean? I injured myself, over a year
have no
ago?
injuries. You have no injuries over the last 2 years?
Have you ever injured yourself playing football? I'm pretty sure football players get a lot of injuries. You can literally look at a list that goes like hundreds of lines down on the amount of injuries in professional football. Athletes get injured.
I've had my thigh bruised, but I've never torn a ligament or a tendon. Or
okay,
damaged
well, look
a
at the
ligament or
injuries
tendon.
in professional football or even collegiate football.
Are you going to
will
answer
see
the
a
question,
long
Vegan
list of
Gains?
connective tissue
Have
injuries.
have you been injuring
Yes,
yourself? Has that been
I
limiting
have
your
had an
workouts?
injury a year ago.
Okay, now, Andrew, I would like you to share the screen that I have up so we can debunk another lie. Okay, this is the American Chemical Society. Soy protein is not an ideal protein because it is deficient in the essential amino methionine.
Yeah,
okay,
so
this,
if you
this
actually
is what,
look...
this is what this animal rights activist, this professional vegan,
oh my God,
is telling you lies about methionine.
Yeah, so if you actually look at the amino acid profile of soybeans, it doesn't have as much methionine as something like fish or eggs or steak, but it is not deficient in methionine. I don't know what they mean by that. And people don't eat only soy.
You don't know.
So if you eat soy, fruits, vegetables, beans, rice,
Vegan
you will
Gains
get.
is more.
Do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence that vegans in general are deficient in methionine? How do you define a methionine deficiency?
Entire American Chemical Society.
Sorry, how do you diagnose a methionine deficiency?
Vegan Gains is more intelligent.
Can you show me a single
Vegan? Enough! Hang on. Let him respond, and then we'll get back to you.
Well, he's not responding. He made a claim, and I'm asking him a question about the claim.
Okay, so Vegan Gains is making the claim that he's more intelligent than the American Chemical Society. How do you explain that?
Sorry, I'm not saying I'm more intelligent. I'm saying their claim is misleading. I don't know what they mean by deficient or what their criteria is for deficiency. And if you're claiming, wait, you spoke, so it's my time to ask you a question. If you're going to claim that vegans can't get enough methionine, can you show me one case report where a human has ever developed a methionine deficiency? I'm not even aware of how to diagnose a methionine deficiency in humans.
Well, we do know that one of the leading scientists that authored.
Okay, so you're not answering my question. Can you show me one case report in a human where somebody has developed a methionine deficiency? One single case report. I just want to see one single case of any human ever in history having a methionine deficiency.
So this is where we get into the vegan.
He's not answering the question because he knows there hasn't been a single instance of anybody having a methionine deficiency.
If you can't show me a study showing specifically that if the right toenail has been torn and someone rips their hamstring.
Yeah, so if you're claiming vegans are deficient in methionine, then you should be able to show me a study where somebody actually develops a methionine deficiency, right? Like one case report.
we have vegan after vegan after vegan becoming ex-vegan, and what the vegans
That has nothing to do
do
with a methionine deficiency. Can you show
what
me
the
one
vegan,
case
it
report
could,
of
it
a
could be
human
number,
ever
it could be
developing a
number of
methionine deficiency?
nutrients that the vegan diet is deficient in.
Can
But
you
what
can you show
happens
me
is
one
that
case
a
report of
vegan
a vegan having
will
methionine
quit
deficiency?
veganism, and the cult will attack
Do you even
them.
know what the
And
minimum
they'll say
required intake of
that you do
methionine
not have
is?
to quit veganism.
Sorry, do you know
could
what the
have continued
minimum
with
daily
veganism
requirement of
if you
methionine
had,
is? Do you know what the
you
minimum
had
daily
pursued a
requirement of
well-planned
methionine
vegan
is?
diet. And you
So
say,
you don't
okay,
have an
where's
answer
the
to any of these
source
questions.
for a
You're just making
well-planned
claims.
vegan diet?
All right, hang on. We're getting to the point where nobody can understand anything. Vegan
Right,
games.
so
I wanna give
what's
you, oh, hang on.
Vegan, hey,
Okay,
vegan
listen,
games.
Sure.
Let's set up
Hang
a
on,
debate.
no,
You and
Garland, you
me.
listen
I will
too. Hang on.
destroy you.
Both of you guys.
I will
Well, you
pile
can't even
drive
answer
your
a single
ass.
one of my questions, so by
Vegan
destroy you
games.
mean just
Are
yeah?
you
Listen,
scared
hey,
to debate
hey.
me?
Clearly not. I'm
I don't
also
mute
not
mics, I
afraid to
don't
bench
mute mics,
press
you're
more
all
than
big
you.
fucking boys. Just heed what I'm saying.
You're a
I will
child.
set that debate up. And Vegan Gain's always been welcome on the Crucible. He's always going to be welcome on the Crucible. He's always been very respectful when he's here. Just like Jeffrey's always been very respectful when he's here. So is Garland Farms. I have no problem setting that up. Okay, so you guys are welcome to do it.
Sure.
This guy in the chat's like, Josh M. He says, "You're still not funny, Andrew." You know what's really funny? Ban that motherfucker. That's always funny to me. But anyway, back to where I was at. No, don't ban him. Just time him out. I just like to fuck with people. We can indeed set that debate up. But for right now, I got to give you the last word, vegan, and then I got to move on to the other callers. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So if Garland is going to claim that vegans are deficient in methionine, he has to show at least a few things. One, that vegans are actually at risk of methionine deficiency. He can't even provide any evidence that vegans are at risk of methionine deficiency and can't show me even one single case report of anybody in human history having a methionine deficiency. Secondly, he doesn't even know what the daily required intake of methionine is and whether or not vegans have trouble even meeting that minimum daily requirement. So this claim he's making that vegans have trouble getting enough amino acids is just completely unfounded and nonsensical. And by the way, again, I can bench press more than you. I can beat you in an arm wrestling match. I'm bigger, stronger than you ever
Bring it
have
on,
been in
you
your
little
life.
bitch.
I'm 6'3", 290 pounds.
I'm
so,
6'4", 240. I will trash you.
Oh, okay, so you're an inch taller. Well, guess what? I have an extra inch
Vegan
on you at
Games.
least
You're
in
a
some other
loser.
part of my body.
And Andrew, I have shared a screen here. I've shared a screen to debunk what he just said. Whole food vegan diets that moderate bean and soy intake while including ample amounts of fruit and wine beer can be quite low in methionine. So debunked.
Okay, so can you show me evidence of methionine deficiencies in vegans eating lots of fruit or something?
I just showed it to you.
You didn't. You just said it's low in methionine. You can have a low methionine diet without being deficient.
I just showed it to you, misanthrope.
Okay, great. So you didn't show any evidence of deficiency in humans. You haven't provided any evidence. You haven't provided a definition of what even constitutes a methionine deficiency. You haven't explained what the minimum intake of methionine is or what the ideal intake is, and whether or not vegans have trouble meeting that required intake. So again, bigger, stronger than you. I'm bigger, stronger than you've ever been in your entire life.
You lose.
So no, you lose.
Not in my entire life.
Well, guess what? If I arm wrestled you, you'd lose. If we had a powerlifting competition, you'd lose. And if we had a debate, you'd lose. We're having a debate right now, and you're losing.
On an athletic scholarship, you little puss.
Well, I'm pretty sure 100 years ago, people were shorter and smaller. So
yeah, I gave
you're kind of bragging about
vegan,
nothing.
Vegan games.
Yeah,
I gave you the last word. If you guys want to set that debate up, I promise I'll set it up. You know I will.
Be glad to.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, Vegan. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Always good sport. Take care of yourself, man.
Take care.
Richie, last caller.
Dude.
Go. Richie, are you there? What were you doing?
I fucking wrecked. I fucking wrecked Garland Farms so hard, dude. That was hilarious. Guy's a fucking idiot. That was good. That was worth the wait. Yeah, I'm looking forward to debating him, actually. That was pretty funny.
It was just going about. It was like a normal day. It's like I'm increasingly, Joe, believing that I am sane and that the world is crazy. And normally I take that as a cue that maybe I need to get some sleep. No, I think we're actually just going crazy. I think that those of us who actually get how risky this is need to speak up because it's not fun. The entire apparatus will tell you that you're soft on Putin and you're an appeasing Chamberlain wannabe, and it's like bullshit. Right now, you don't realize in 2004,